Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rimshots with Sean. I am Sean. It's brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. If you like what you're seeing, and how can you not like what you're seeing when we get this guy? Hit the subscribe button. We want to build that channel. Hey, social media, man. We gotta eat, like Maurice says, so we got to do some stuff here. You nailed something there that it. So for me, like this instant famous thing. Like I make a joke if I see one more 6-year-old play the drums to Tom Sawyer perfectly, I'm gonna lose it. But there's something to be said too for logging those miles and getting fired when you're playing clubs and having to put chains in the doors to get paid by club owners that these instant, successes don't get. And I think guys that you mentioned, the B-list ones, when they're on an upward trajectory and then maybe something dips a little bit, they can handle that dip because they've been there before. Versus
Sure.
some of these, quote unquote A-listers always lost and they're filing for bankruptcy and they're going into hospitals and stuff. Just your thoughts on that, Maurice, because I think there is something to be said for paying your dues and earning your stripes.
Well, I said it. Sorry, I said it earlier. There's there's a process to getting, or there used to have to be a process to get where you had to go. Look, uh, back in the day, there was, lots of bands trying to get record deals, but and it wasn't necessarily the best bands that got the record deals. There was luck involved. There was timing. There was. Although I will say a lot of bands worked really hard, a lot of bands didn't make it. A lot of bands didn't make it. A lot of talented people didn't make it. And I'm not saying that there aren't really talented people on, America's Got Talent or Canada's Got Talent. They walk out and they belt out a tune. You're going, where the hell did that come from? Like you're amazed by it. But there's something to be said for the point. Trying to be authentic on a nightly basis. It's one thing to have a one-off show, but to do it night after night after night after night, that takes discipline, it takes work, and it's hard. It's hard work. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can do it. And those people that get to the A list, some of them deservedly, some of them, let's face it, Millie Vanilli got to the A list. They got to the top. They didn't even sing. So there's a manipulative and sort of bullshit nature to the entertainment industry for sure. For guys like me, and I guess you, and guys that are working musicians that are grinding it out, it's a never ending 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Right. And when you're 2 steps forward, man, are you holding on and trying not to slip back down? But it is always something coming up. As I said, there's 617 Rolling Stones bands now. We never intended for this to happen. I never thought I'd see a Bryan Adams tribute band. I mean, I don't even what. Yeah, I get it now. Yes, I understand. There's a market for everything, but I mean, Bryan Adams, I can understand a Beatles or a Rolling Stones. These are like, or Pink Floyd or I guess a Led Zeppelin, but of everything, there's a tribute for everything. For ABBA, ABBA, and there's tons of them. Kill me.
Yeah, I think what it is though is a lot of the people that are putting these things together. And don't get me wrong, I've seen some great ones. I had a friend that just took part in one a couple of weeks ago, and I was very proud of the amount of work that he did to learn a complete repertoire of an artist. But I think sometimes the people that put them on kind of play on the fact that people are never ever going to get to see Billy Joel at Madison Square Gardens or the Stones at Wembley Stadium. So hey, we're going to give you this, and hopefully it's going to be enough for you, and people will pay money for it.
Well, that's part of the reason why we ended up doing what we did was, the Stones for a short period of time didn't play gigs. And we thought, well, if we do it, people will come see us and, it'll give us an opportunity to get our original material out and, sort of use it as a stepping stone. The problem is that it created an entire industry. Look, it's the entertainment industry. Whatever people are going to pay to go see, people are going to milk it for all it's worth. I mean, there's not a place you can go now, a theater or whatever, that doesn't have tribute bands in it.
Right.
Can't. But that's what the difference is. See, for me, I hate to sound like I'm, blowing smoke up my own ass, but we're not a tribute band. We're a rock band. There's a difference. There's a difference between us and the Rolling Stones tribute band. Boy, that takes balls. Or there's a band actually out there called The Stones.
Huh.
They call themselves The Stones. They're a tribute band called The Stones. The reason we're called the Blushing Brides is because we have nothing to do with the Rolling Stones. It's a completely, there's no connection to it. It has nothing to do with the Rolling Stones.
When I was in high school, Maurice, I never had the pleasure of seeing you guys here, and you guys were huge in Halifax. You played here all the time.
Yeah.
But I remember being in high school and seeing ads for the Blushing Brides at the Misty Moon, and I had no idea you guys even had any bit of a Stones connection until somebody said, "Oh, well, they're a Stone," and I was like, "Okay, that's pretty cool." And then when I went on and I started looking at over the years of, you guys have a catalog of material that I think sometimes gets overlooked because people think you're a Stones cover band.
Well, that was our own doing. Our own downfall was survival, and that's what being the what is that? We're like Sisyphus. They're pushing the stone up the. We never get to the top. It's frustrating. More frustrating now because we know that this whole industry that's been created is really shit.
Right.
It's shit. Like, let's face it, it's really shit. Has it given the opportunity or a lot of marginal musicians to be able to do stuff, and some good musicians? Don't get me wrong. There's lots of good musicians out there. A lot of my friends playing classic albums live. They're great musicians. Great. Awesome musicians. A lot of good musicians play in other tribute bands. Some of my bandmates play in other bands because they got to eat. So they play in other tribute bands. They're good musicians. But this whole industry, the one thing that I think sets us apart, whether it matters to the public or not, and I don't think it does because I don't think they get it, is that the Blushing Brides is an actual rock band.
Right.
That a separate, it's not a tribute band, it's a rock band.
Right.
Own entity. It's its own creation. It plays the songs in its own way, as opposed to everybody else trying everything in their power to do it exactly like the other band. That's just, I guess it's a tribute.
Yeah. So. The one thing that I find it's more prevalent, I think, in the last 5-6 years, when I was coming up, if I had the opportunity to talk to you, I go and I talk to you, I'd sit there, I would ask you questions, I'd sit there and I'd shut up. I'd have a notebook, I'd take, and if I had the opportunity to get around anybody that had done something that I had never done before, but I wanted to do, I would sit there and I would take it all in and shut my mouth. I find now, and I don't want to say the younger musicians, but I will, there seems to be this, you know what, I'm not going to listen to the people that have done it because we're smarter. We know how to do it. We can find it on the internet. We don't need their input. What are your thoughts on that? I find that's a hot button for me. That is kind of, I've had friends who have more experience than me that are kind of almost disrespected by younger people, and I just find it very annoying.
Well, to be honest, I don't talk to young musicians. I don't know any. I don't really socialize very much. I'm a very compartmentalized and solitary person. I do my gigs. Live my very sheltered life. And I will say the musicians that I have run into, if we have an opening act, and they see us and they hang around and they chat. They seem to be very interested and respectful. They're asking, Mostly when people talk to me or I have anything to say about um, these new bands or young musicians or whatnot, for me, it's about performance. So I will watch a band and I'll see them do something. I don't watch many, but when I do, the one thing that I find that is lacking and there might need to have, you know, think about is how they deliver the song.
Right.
You know, there's the song. It's not just playing the song; it's about delivering it. It's a story. It's like an oral history. You know, the shamans used to get up and dance, and and so that's kind of the school that I came from. I don't know if they appreciate as much as what we studied and appreciated about our mentors or the people that we followed, i.e., the Stones, or before them, the blues artists like Otis Redding and the performers like James Brown and the Jay Giles Band and Peter Wolf as frontman and what they did and how they. So I don't know. I know that they learned the songs. I know that they've learned the material or listened to it because they're not doing anything different, really. There are some very unique and interesting acts out there. Some of my friends are constantly sending me stuff, and I'm going, oh, "Holy crap, that is so good!" Like it's just ridiculously inventive and interesting. But I don't know if there's an appreciation for what and you know how from the 40s, the jazz music and the big band music and the blues and the country, everything was kind of tied together. I got to tell you, I think the biggest hit and screw up is auto tune and the hip hop. Hip hop was good for a little slice, a very tiny slice of time, and then it like we have today with bad musicians being popular. I think everybody thought they could do hip hop, like everybody said, and they can't. But it's everywhere, and it's infecting everything. So it's a virus that we can't get rid of now, and it doesn't really have a history. It doesn't have a long sort of. I don't know. There's something missing. And a lot of it is electronics. A lot of it is, beats, and it's just, I saw something today on Facebook was about some friggin' thing about create your own beats and all this. I'm going, oh, create my beats. I got a drummer. My drummer's going to create the beats. Yeah. He's going to create it through feel. You're going to get, like, what are you, nuts? Yeah. And that's the problem. It's not real. It's not human anymore. That's the biggest thing. There you go. The humanity has been extracted from it for simplicity and everybody doing it at home. Okay. The thing I like about some technology is we've recorded a new album and we've done it. The band has done it all individually. They've done their tracks and we've been able to send each other the tracks and mix them from different locations. New York, Toronto, Boston. We've all sort of come together because brides are everywhere. And we put together an album. That I like. That's cool. But we're still human beings playing it. And there's no auto-tune or there's any shit like that. It's still real what it is. A little bit of reverb, off you go. Whatever happens, happens. But today it's so easy to make records or to create tracks and songs that aren't real. They're not real. So this path that we're on is kind of, I wouldn't say disturbing. I just say it's sad because there's no emotion in the music anymore to me. I go to the gym every day and I listen. They got this crap on and it's, this auto tune crap. And it makes me sad. Like I shake my, and they're all, they think it's good. I guess some people, like, I don't know. Can I you know, blatantly slag someone. Drake is useless to me. Drake is everything that's wrong with the music industry. Everything. He uses auto tune to speak.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. Look, sir, we're a successful podcast, but we're not big business. We're still on the free Zoom, so therefore I get a ticker that's counting down. I got about a minute. And this thing's going to cut off, and I don't want that to happen. So, what's going on with you guys over the next bit? And you're coming out this way soon.
What's happening? The Blushing Brides will continue to play. Look for us on Facebook, on our Facebook page, on our webpage, theblushingbrides.ca. We're going to be in we're going to be in the Maritimes in St. John, September 21, September 22 in Moncton, and September 23 in Pictou. So that's the first time we're going to be out in the Maritimes in a long time. It'd be great to see you come out. And other than that, we're just, keep putting out new music. We've got a bunch of originals, sort of put together an album called Broken Hearts on Bleecker Street, which is a tribute to New York City's Bleecker Street that we played on for quite a few years off and on, and how it's gone away in a lot of ways. It's still there, but, a lot of what it was has gone away. So it's kind of a tribute to that. Yeah, we got a lot of good songs. So go to the Blushing Brides Facebook page, and you'll see it.
Maurice Raymond, thank you so much, man. It's really nice to meet you, and let's stay in touch. And if I get up to Toronto, I owe you a beer, I owe you a coffee, I owe you something, man.
Definitely. Yeah. Sorry about the blathering on. I tend to just, I'm like the Bill Burr of rock and roll.
And that's what people want, my man. That's what people want. We'll see you soon.
Okay, brother. Ciao.